September 1st, 2016. The Catatumbo River falls silent. For the first time in recorded history, something that should never stop has vanished. The lightning is gone. But this is just the beginning of a story that stretches back thousands of years. A phenomenon so powerful, so relentless, that it has shaped cultures, guided sailors, and defied science itself. This is the Catatumbo Lightning Storm. To understand what happened, we need to go back to where it all began. Lake Maracaibo, northwestern Venezuela, the place where the Catatumbo River meets the lake. For centuries, this spot has been the stage for nature's most spectacular light show. Nearly 300 nights a year, the sky erupts with lightning. Not just a few strikes, but thousands upon thousands, up to 280 strikes per hour, for 10 hours straight, every single night. The phenomenon was so constant, so reliable, that sailors used it as a natural lighthouse. They called it the Maracaibo Beacon. Indigenous communities believed it was the eternal battle between fireflies and spirits. Spanish conquistadors saw it and trembled, thinking they had found the entrance to hell itself. But what they witnessed was something far more extraordinary than myth. It was physics at war with geography. Here's what happens. Warm, moisture-laden air sweeps in from the Caribbean Sea and Lake Maracaibo. It collides with cold winds descending from the Andes Mountains that surround the basin on three sides. The lake sits in a unique bowl-shaped valley, trapping the air masses. They have nowhere to go but up. The warm air rises rapidly, creating towering cumulonimbus clouds. Inside these clouds, ice crystals and water droplets collide violently, building up massive electrical charges. And then, the release. Lightning. Not once, not twice, but in an endless cascade that turns night into day. The strikes are so frequent, so concentrated, that Catatumbo produces more ozone than any other single spot on Earth. Scientists estimate it generates up to 1.2 million lightning strikes per year. That is 10% of the world's total atmospheric ozone production coming from one small corner of Venezuela. This was not just a storm, it was a planetary engine. But on January 23, 2010, something changed. The lightning stopped. For the first time in living memory, the skies over Catatumbo went dark. Night after night. Silence. The locals were terrified. Fishermen who had spent their entire lives under the glow of the lightning now cast their nets in complete darkness. Children who had grown up with the constant flicker now stared at empty skies. What had gone wrong? Scientists scrambled for answers. The region was experiencing one of the worst droughts in decades. El Niño had shifted weather patterns across South America. The moisture that normally fed the storm system was gone. The delicate balance between warm Caribbean air and cold Andean winds had collapsed. Without the fuel, the lightning machine had shut down. For 6 weeks, the silence continued. People began to wonder if it would ever return. Then, on March 10, 2010, a single strike. Then another. Within days, the storm roared back to life. The Catatumbo lightning had returned, as if nothing had happened. Relief washed over the region. The beacon was burning again. But the warning had been delivered. This phenomenon, ancient and powerful, was not invincible. It could be silenced. And in 2016, it happened again. This time, the drought was even worse. From September 1st to October 24th, 2016, the lightning vanished completely. 53 days of darkness. Environmentalists raised the alarm. Deforestation in the surrounding mountains was accelerating. Oil drilling in Lake Maracaibo was expanding. Climate change was altering rainfall patterns. The very forces that had created the Catatumbo lightning for millennia were under threat. Dr. Angel Munoz, a Venezuelan climate scientist, warned that if current trends continued, the Catatumbo lightning could disappear permanently within 50 years. The lake was shrinking. The forests were burning. The delicate atmospheric conditions were unraveling. What had once seemed eternal was now fragile. When the lightning returned in late October 2016, it was different. The strikes were less frequent. The storms were less intense. The phenomenon was weakening. Local communities who had relied on the lightning for everything from navigation to tourism watched with growing dread. The economic impact was immediate. Tour operators lost income. Hotels sat empty. The lightning that had once been a curse to some was now a treasure slipping away. Scientists from around the world descended on Lake Maracaibo. They installed monitoring equipment. They studied wind patterns, humidity levels, and atmospheric chemistry. They discovered that the Catatumbo lightning was not just a natural wonder, it was an environmental indicator, a canary in the coal mine. When the lightning faltered, it meant the entire ecosystem was in trouble. The phenomenon taught humanity a humbling lesson. Nature's greatest spectacles are not guaranteed. They are the product of precise conditions, delicate balances, and forces we barely understand. The Catatumbo lightning had been striking for thousands of years, long before humans arrived. But in just a few decades of industrialization, deforestation, and climate change, we had nearly extinguished it. Today, the lightning still flashes over Lake Maracaibo, but it is not the same. The storms are shorter, the strikes are less numerous. The beacon that once burned 300 nights a year now flickers uncertainly. Local communities have become fierce protectors of their environment. They plant trees. They fight against oil expansion. They monitor the lake's health. They know that when the lightning dies, a part of their identity dies with it. The Catatumbo Lightning Storm is more than just a meteorological curiosity. It is a reminder that the Earth's wonders are not infinite. The systems we take for granted can collapse. Silence, when it comes to nature, is often a warning we ignore at our peril. And so, the people of Maracaibo wait. They watch the skies. They count the strikes. They pray that the eternal storm will continue to light their nights. The day the lightning stops forever, the world will have lost something irreplaceable. Not just a natural phenomenon, but a connection to forces older and more powerful than civilization itself. The Catatumbo lightning taught us that even the eternal can fade. Sometimes the greatest tragedy is not what nature destroys, but what we allow to disappear.